Your goals are making your team worse, not because you're setting the wrong ones, but because you're measuring the wrong things. Hey everybody, my name is Aaron. I'm the Vice President of Operations for a live events company in New York City. I've spent the last 2 decades of my career building creative and technical teams and trying to figure out how to bring structure to what is most often a really chaotic industry. Here's something I've learned the hard way. Traditional goal-setting frameworks just don't work for our industry. When you try to force-fit them onto creatives, we end up optimizing for checking off a whole bunch of boxes in a day and not getting out our best work. So today I'm going to show you how to use SMART goals, but adapted specifically for creative teams. We're going to flip the focus from measuring output to outcomes, and by the end of this video, you'll have a framework you can take back to your teams this week. Okay, so let's start with the problem. When most people set goals, they default to outputs. Maybe it's 14 social posts this quarter, or hey, we've got an RFP due on Friday, so let's get 3 event concepts out. For sales teams, maybe it's 20 cold calls a day. And look, outputs matter. The work has to get done. But when the goal itself is just a deliverable count, all you're doing is trying to optimize then for a volume of output and not quality. You'll get those social posts out, but maybe no one engages. You've got all of the event concepts on the page, but they're safe and forgettable and you don't land the gig. Or for a sales team, maybe you're not focusing on qualified leads, and so nothing inbound is really turning into, well, those RFPs. But here's the shift. Outcomes over outputs. Instead of 14 social posts over that quarter, maybe it's increasing engagement by 10% over that same length of time. Instead of 3 event concepts out by the end of the week, maybe it's a metric on how well we've adapted the use of our potential clients' language and color palettes and messaging. Instead of 30 cold calls a day, maybe it's a metric about how many qualified leads we were able to generate, or how many of those calls turn into second or third conversations, or even those RFPs. Now your team isn't just sprinting to check a bunch of boxes. They're thinking strategically and focusing on quality. Maybe instead of all of those different social media posts, that same amount of time can go into 3 or 4 really high quality ones that drive that engagement. Maybe instead of focusing on hitting the minimum of 3 concepts by the end of the week, focusing that time and energy on 1 or 2 concepts that really connect and resonate with your client because you've done the research and put the time in, will eventually land you more work. That's the kind of thinking you want from your creative people. Your goal should describe the milestone you're trying to get to, not the number of steps that you want somebody to take along the way. This gives you the flexibility to stop step counting and let people start running. So now that we know why we need to reframe our goals, let's talk about how. We'll walk through each of the letters of SMART, but through a creative operations lens. S is for specific. Specific doesn't mean rigid. A lot of creative leaders will hear specific and think about details and think about prescribing every single step, but that's micromanagement, not goal setting. For creatives, specific means everyone on the team can articulate what success looks like. Try this. Instead of, we need an event that feels premium, try, create an attendee experience that receives an average of 8 out of 10 on a post-event survey. See? Same vision, way more clarity. M is for measurable. And this is where creatives tend to zone out a little bit. I mean, how do you measure creativity without it just becoming a volume game? The answer is you don't. You measure the impact of creativity. Client satisfaction scores, audience engagement rates, client retention rates. These are all measurable and they're all indications of the quality of the creative work. This is sort of like the difference between a lag measure and a lead measure. A lead measure predicts future success, where a lag measure is just a log of the previous output. If what you're measuring is easy to measure but doesn't have a solid direct influence on future outcomes, that's a lag measure and specifically not what we're looking for here. Essentially, we're looking for 1 or 2 metrics that are a proxy for creative excellence in your context. That's your measurement. A is for actionable. Now, most people will use achievable for A, but I prefer actionable because for creatives, it's usually not can we do this thing, but how do we get started? Are we ready to get started? Do we know how to get started? An actionable goal has a clear first step. If your team looks at a goal and doesn't know how to get started, you need to break it down a little more. Start asking questions. What's the first experiment we need to run? What's the first bit of research that we need to conduct? What's the first conversation with internal, external stakeholders, clients, audiences, etc. that we need to build the foundation of context to get going? We're looking to give your people the vision of a path, not just a mountain to look at. R is for relevant, and relevant means the goal connects to something bigger. And this is where we very often as creative leaders have some extra work to do. Your team needs to understand why this goal matters, not just to the company, not just to this particular project, but for them personally. How does it connect to their career goals? How does it help them build the skills and experiences they need to get to the next step? How does it tie into the department's goals? Have you articulated the department's goals to them? If you can't draw that connection and connect those dots for them, the goal is going to feel like homework. And creatives don't do their best work when it feels like homework. When I set goals for my team, I always try to tie it to a bigger narrative, specifically so they can get the context around why we're doing this. Context is fuel for creative people. T is for time-bound, and this isn't just about deadlines. It's about creating a rhythm and a cadence to the work. We all know that creative work tends to fill the time allotted, and we as creative leaders have all seen designers iterate on things for weeks without making any real progress. So set time boundaries, and not just for the final deliverable. We want to create a rhythm of check-ins. Instead of saying this is due in 2 weeks, say let's check in on this on Monday and give ourselves the opportunity to reflect and adjust. We're looking to create a cadence of learning and not just a countdown to a deadline. Hey, if this is clicking for you, do me a favor and hit that like button or drop a comment down below. It genuinely helps more people in our industry find this content. All right, let's bring it all together. Here's what I want you to take from this. Creative teams deserve goals that respect the nature of creative work. That means focusing on outcomes, not outputs. That means setting goals that are specific enough to create clarity, measurable through impact, actionable with a clear first step, relevant to something the team actually cares about, and time-bound with a rhythm of reflection, not just a hard deadline. The real work here is developing a mindset of continuous improvement. We're not just setting goals, we're building a culture. And that's what this channel is all about. So, thank you very much for your time. Drop a comment below and tell me what is the hardest part of setting goals for your creative team, and let's keep the conversation going. Until the next one.